We all need gis, rash guards, and a bunch of gear to train jiu-jitsu. Here at Roll Academy, we've been using Fuji Sports for a very, very long time, but more importantly, they've been sponsoring the Roll Radio podcast for over a year at this point. Gary?
Yeah, I'm checking out the website right now. Anything you could possibly need, but the new stuff, this American Grappler stuff, is amazing. It's so slick looking. Rash guard shorts, really cool giant eagle on it. It is nice. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, they've got the Be a Menace Happy No-Gi lineup. So as you're getting choked out, you're looking up at the nice smiley face emoji. Anything you could possibly need, you can find at fujisports.com.
You have questions, I have answers. I started a brand new podcast just recently that's available on all podcast platforms and YouTube. It's called Ask a Black Belt. Very simple. You drop me questions, I answer them. Very simple, 5-6 minutes. Gary, have you heard it?
I have heard it, and I really appreciate it. How do those questions get to you?
Well, listen, you can message me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. But you can also comment on any post that I make, and I try to genuinely answer the questions as fast as I can, and they get posted 3 times a week as it is right now.
Beautiful. Ask a Black Belt. Check it out on your favorite podcast platform.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we live.
And we're live. Here we go again. Keeping ourselves busy.
Yeah, so you staying here for the rest of the night?
I am. No. Well, I have to come back. I have to come back, right? I don't go home and have the option of coming back. I have to come back.
Don't go home.
But don't go home, right?
Don't go home.
What do we mean by that? We talked to Felicia Oh, who has said on numerous occasions that she would like finish work and then go sit in her car out in front of the academy on her phone. And in those days, your phones, they weren't as jam packed with fun as they are nowadays.
What did Cruz say? Professor Cruz is number one obstacle for jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, we haven't said it yet this year. Thursday night football. I don't know what he does on Monday nights, but Thursday night football.
Pizza and beer.
No. A couch. Thursday night football, the couch and beer. Couch. You threw pizza in. are what going to keep, that's what's going to keep you from going to jiu-jitsu. But I think what Felicia is talking about is not giving yourself an excuse to not go. Don't go home and be comfortable and then not need to go back out to do these things. Because we talked a lot about struggle and you know, how hard this could be. And I think she's eliminating by literally not going home. She's eliminating all those excuses that could keep you from showing up to your classes, right? Another way to say it, you always say, just show up. A lot of people say, just show up. How do I get better? Just show up.
Just show up.
Right. And I think that, you know, by literally not going home, she was able to just continue to show up all the time and then have this incredible career that she's had out of this.
We often say there's a million reasons not to train. Mm-hmm. There's distractions everywhere around us that pull us away from what we want to do. And this is not necessarily particularly aiming towards jiu-jitsu, but anything. You want to go run, you want to go bike, you want to go swim, you want to go whatever, fill the blank. There, you know, distractions are in front of us. Yeah. But that comfort zone of sitting down and not doing quote unquote anything, it's very dangerous.
It can be.
It can be, right?
Yeah.
It's so I guess what were we saying, or what the part of the big part of the conversation with Sophia, with Felicia was stay focused. Mm-hmm. You want to train. This is what you want to do. This is part of your goals. Put this in your schedule. No matter what is happening, make it work.
Yeah, she said something early on that people have a tendency to look at this at jiu-jitsu or any other activity outside of work, as just an activity, as something they do for fun, an extracurricular, whatever. And she said, no, I paid for this. And I looked at it like school. Like I have to be there. I'm supposed to be there, rather than like, I paid for the year up front. I got 3 more months. I'll get back in a couple weeks, or I'll get in shape before I go back. All those things. There's a ton of legit reasons that you cannot do something. But there's also a ton of excuses that you can make to not do something. And it's very easy, like we said, to go home and sit down. I made a joke, and it's not a joke. It's real. If I leave the academy, when I had my other day job too, if I leave and don't run all my errands before I walk in the door at home, they're not getting done till tomorrow. Once I go in, unless it's some sort of emergency, we're completely out of this and it is necessary now, I wouldn't go back out. It's just like, no, I'm home now. My shoes are off. The TV is on.
Distractions.
Distractions. And it's because you want to be comfortable. You've had a long day, right? Whatever your stresses are and everything like that. You just want to go home and be sedentary for a while. But if you don't do that, if you go home and you eat a quick meal and you get your stuff together, or even better, if you already have your stuff together, you're not going to regret going to the academy. But after the clock passes, when everybody just bowed out, you're going to regret not going for sure. I think almost every time.
Yeah, and I think what's important to really keep in mind here that we doing this literally don't go home, but also this could be taken in a very figurative way, meaning set your priorities, right? Know what's important, right? No one is expecting of anybody to show up to academy six hours before class and sit in front of it and watch Netflix, right? But the point is, know what your distraction points are. Know where your priorities are. If it's really important for you to make it to this appointment or to this class or to this training session, make sure nothing gets in your way, right? And if that means that you arrive to the academy an hour earlier and you hang out, watch maybe kids classes or watch, other training sessions or maybe, what the hell, maybe you can help out with some things. You never know. I mean, this is not only revolving around our academy, but there's plenty. I know from personal experience and from other academies, there's plenty things that you could get involved in the academy if you're willing to do it. Most of the times, you just don't know that those things are available. Talk to the staff, talk to your instructor, say, listen, I have an hour free between classes. I don't know what to do with myself. Can I help in some capacity? Can I do? And believe it or not, that non-training time being involved at the academy actually could convert into huge benefits for you as part of your jiu-jitsu journey. So I think what's really important here is to keep in mind is that, one, don't get distracted. Training is important to you. We all know that because you wouldn't be paying for it. You wouldn't be training. You wouldn't have this passion. But two, figure it out. Only you know your day. Only you know what could be happening. I know myself. Once I sit down on that couch, it's hard. And again, this is not only pertaining to jiu-jitsu. It's also pertaining to workout, pertaining to this is a good one. Some people want to lose weight. Instead of getting lunch at work, how about you make your lunch? So a little bit planning, because if you don't bring your lunch to work, next thing you're going to be buying junk food, and then all that translates into this domino effect that takes place. It's just bad habits get generated, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's figuring out what works and what the obstacles are, and then eliminating those to setting yourself for success.
Yeah, I think, and it's a lot of it has to do with discipline too. You have to be disciplined to pack that lunch. You have to be disciplined to get up 10 minutes earlier to do it. You got to be disciplined to, keep that gi clean and keep it in your car. Don't wash it in between work and class. Wash it as soon as you get home so that you can throw it in your bag before you go to work. There's a lot of different little things. A lot of, is it time management? Is it discipline? 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't know, but it's the things that you need, like you said, to eliminate, but then the things that you need to add to make it an easier transition, maybe too, to be like, okay, I'm getting in the car and I'm heading over there now, and I got nothing to worry about in between here and there, and then I can handle these other things when I get home. You don't have to. I got to stop here, and then I got to go there, and then I got to rush home and rush back. And, and if I hate showing up when the warm-ups, unless you're a purple belt, I hate showing up when the warm-ups are over. So I'm going to be 5 minutes late. I'm not going. I'm going to be a distraction. I'm not going. I'm going to, all those things start creeping in too. So get all that stuff out of the way.
That's a good one, and is that I'm going to be 5 minutes late, so I'm just not going to come at all.
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
I've heard this multiple times, and I like it, don't like it. Like at this point, I don't care. I think this is the biggest nonsense that I've ever heard.
Well, it's,
being 5 minutes to the class, that means you still have, on a 60-minute class, you still have 55 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Why would you skip the class? Now, short of there being some rules at the academy that you cannot be late. All these things obviously will suppress you being late. But this is where you talk to your instructors. What's the rules or policies, whatever the case is.
I asked that question my first day at the front desk. It was like, hey, I still had a commute, a 33-mile commute every day for work, and it was like, there's going to be days where I know that I punch out, I get in the car, and then boom, gridlock. It's going to happen. Yeah. And what is it? And the front desk was like, just come when you can get here. Don't worry about it.
And again, there are some academies I know some academies who literally lock the doors minutes after the class starts, and, no judgment whatsoever, but this is the knowledge that you need, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, in my mind, you being late to the class is better than not coming to the class at all. Now, once this converts into the purple belt habit of not showing up to warm-ups, this is where we're going to have a problem. But the main point is, why would you sacrifice your training because of a small obstacle of being late because of traffic or something came up, or your kids didn't want to go to bed, or you woke up, whatever the case is? I mean, we all have different dynamics within our households and families and professional life, right? Don't sacrifice your training because of that. And if this happens on a regular basis, maybe there is a time where we need to sit down and kind of reevaluate the schedule. Right? Can we modify the schedule? Can we change things? Can we attend different class, or can we change our other? I mean, Felicia talked about this quite extensively. We made kind of fun of this, but the moment you start organizing your life around jiu-jitsu, you're hooked, right? But often we take it for granted, and we don't.
Right.
And we skip things then.
So Felicia had some things where she had to quit for a few years. Well, I talk about often, and I said it earlier, even there's excuses and there's reasons. And when do we, you have to make those distinctions, and you have to look inside your own head and be like, you know what? No, I'm only making excuses. Why am I making excuses? Is it because you don't like jiu-jitsu? Is it because you haven't been able to really embrace the struggles of jiu-jitsu and say, you know what? Or are you having, I can't figure these things out. I'm not as young as everybody else, whatever. I'm not in the physical condition as everybody else. Other people are getting better than me. All these things that start creeping into your head, and these negative, one negative thought, I think, can breed 100.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a domino effect.
Yeah. And so
I'm looking up the difference between
I can tell. That's why I haven't stopped talking. But so you gotta see if this is really what you want. And if it's not, have legit reasons why. Mm-hmm. And if it is, well, then now you've got some things that you need to correct, right? And it's, yesterday I had planned on being here all night. Hadn't been on the mats in a while because I was sick. I've had one class in the past few weeks. Did judo. I was like, I'm not going to do randori because I haven't been, on the mats in a while. I definitely haven't been doing randori in judo. And I was, in the class, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, So I did it, and I went home after. Could I have stuck around and done that later class? Yeah, I probably could have pushed through. But man, I was beat for that first workout in a long time. I was like, man, okay, I think I got enough for today. So was it an excuse, or was it like, I got enough? I got tomorrow. I'm sticking around tonight. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going home. But there are legit, hey, I've had enough today. I need that. We've talked about this with other people, how you train, right? It's okay. I've had enough today, but I got to come back tomorrow. And that's how you got to go think. That's how you have to think about it is, this is enough for today. Mm-hmm. Am I going to be able to do it tomorrow? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Getting thrown without a crash pad it is fun, but it's stressful. Listen, it takes an impact, right?
It's not a thin carpet, okay?
It's not. It's what? A thin carpet?
It's not a thin carpet, okay? We have very nice, soft, comfortable floors.
We do. Nice raised floors. You should be jealous. But, I'm feeling it. My shoulders are feeling it. And, if I would have stayed for that later class, which was arm bars last night, between the two, who knows where I'd be today. But I knew I wanted to be back for the 6 o'clock class today. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going home, but now I have to go tomorrow. Well, right? You got to make those decisions.
Well, this is the point where we really need to keep ourselves accountable, or have some kind of accountability system. And like, again, what you're talking about are, I think, exceptions to the general schedule, general rule that we're trying to create, whether, I have enough, I'm overdoing this, or
you're prioritizing.
Something came up. Those are all exceptions, right? I think originally on the beginning, I was more talking about the routine.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Establishing a routine, mm-hmm. That's what will really carry you over an extensive period of time. And exceptions will happen, but exception is a one-time event. This is not reoccurring thing. I'm skipping half a class because, traffic or whatever, right? If this happens multiple times, then there's time to reevaluate of what is happening here, right?
Yeah, you have the family that lives right across the street from school. And
always late.
The kid's always late, right? They don't have that routine. Wow. And I'm sorry if that's you and you think I'm full of it, but hey, it's not, you shouldn't be looking at things like we live right across the street, so we've got time. You should be looking at things like we need to be up at this time so that breakfast could be done, so that the bags are packed, so that the kids are dressed, so that we're out the door at this moment, so that we're not the kids that are late all the time. And it goes I think that's the way you should look at probably everything. Getting to work on time, getting the jiu-jitsu on time, everything, getting your grocery shopping done, everything should be, planned out a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So that those excuses of, I'm 5 minutes late, I guess I can't go now, right?
It's not my fault.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You start using those, well, it's a crutch and then...
Here's a little tip if that helps anybody out there listening to this. One of my students a while back actually started journaling, and if you're even if you're not a big fan of journaling, here's a little thing that he's done that really tremendously helped his attendance and keeping himself accountable to his classes. Simply write down. First of all, set a goal for yourself. How many times you want to attend, what he's done. Let me go back to this. What he's done is he said, I wanted to attend X amount of times a year. Now he broke it down into months. Then he broke it down into weeks. Once he hit a week, it came out to about 3 times a week. That was his goal, right? But he said, not every week I can attend 3 times. So I'm going to keep myself accountable per month. So that means if 1 week he skipped a day, that means next week he had to make up another thing. And then again, the numbers are numbers. That's something that needs to be fitting your life. But I found it very interesting, very engineering-like way. He found a system to keep himself accountable to the amount of times that he wanted to be at the academy training, despite of his very busy and unpredictable schedule that he had for his work. So, again, take it, leave it, implement it or not. That's really up to you. We can't force you. Just thoughts, ideas.
Yeah. I know we're going to wrap this up really quickly, but why is it so much easier to keep others accountable than it is to keep yourself accountable. To hold yourself to those same standards that we put upon others, whether it's other people at work or your relationships or your kids.
Okay, so I don't think it's easier to keep somebody else accountable.
It's easier to expect it from them.
Well, because there's no action required.
Okay, there you go.
There's no action required. You know, me looking at you and saying, hey, listen, you're not here. It's very easily black and white situation. I don't know what the circumstances were, but if that person now is going to say, well, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, there's actions that come in the way. And I think those require a certain reaction from us in order for us to achieve that goal, whatever the goal is. And that's work.
All right.
Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right. Cool. All right. Are we done here then?
Yeah.
Oh, what are we going to do since we can't go home?
Well, we got 6 hours of LA Lakers.
Oh, no. God, yeah, she's a Lakers fan. She grew up in Seattle, and now she's a Lakers fan.
Yeah. Interesting story. If you haven't tuned in, make sure you do so.
All right. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.